Good evening. So this time I will explain my activity for this week. So first is what are the goals of hackers is trying to achieve. So first goal of a hacker that trying to achieve is one is gaining access, and next is escalating privileges. The third is executing applications, and the fourth is clearing of tracks. So that are the goals of hackers that trying to achieve. So next, what is an DOS attacks? DOS attacks or denial of service attacks is used to tie up website resources so that the users who need to access the site cannot do so. So many major companies have been the focus of DOS attacks because DOS attacks can be easily engineered from nearly any locations. Finding those responsible can be extremely difficult. So a bit history. So the first DOS attack was done by a 13-year-old David Dennis in 1974. So Dennis wrote a program using the external or ext command that forced some computers at a nearby university research lab to power off. So that is an DOS attacks. So DOS attacks generally take one of two forms. So either flood web services or crash them. So first is flooding attacks. Flooding attacks is the more common form of DOS attacks. It occurs when the attack system is overwhelmed by a large amount of traffic that the server is unable to handle. So the system eventually stops. So the IACM flood, also known as a ping flood, is a type of DOS attacks that sends spoof packets of information that hit every computer in a target network, taking advantage of misconfigured network devices. So that is flooding attacks. So crash attacks. Crash attacks occur less often when the cyber criminal transmit bugs that exploit flaws in the target system. The result, the system crashes. So crash attacks and flooding attacks prevent legitimate users from accessing online services such as websites, gaming sites, email, and bank accounts. So how DOS attacks works? So unlike a virus or a malware, a DOS attacks doesn't depend on a special program to run. Instead, it takes advantage of an inherent vulnerability in the way computer networks communicate. So here's an example. Suppose you wish to visit an e-commerce site in order to shop for a gift. Your computer sends a small packet of information to the website. So the packet works as a hello word. Basically, your computer says, "Hi, I'd like to visit you. Please let me in." So when the server receives your computer message, it sends a short one back saying in a sense, "Okay, are you real?" Your computer responds, "Yes," and communication is established. So the website's homepage then pop-ups on your screen, and you can explore the site. Your computer and the server continue communicating as you click links, place orders, and carry out other businesses. So that is an example of an DOS attacks. Next is bit flipping. A bit flipping attack is an attack on a cryptographic cipher in which the attacker can change the ciphertext in such a way as to result in a predictable change of the plaintext, although the attacker is not able to learn the plaintext itself. Note that this type of attack is not directly against the cipher itself, but against a particular message or a series of messages. In the extreme, this could become a denial of service attacks against all messages on a particular channel using that cipher. So the attack is especially dangerous when the attacker knows the format of the message. In such a situation, so the attacker can turn into a similar message but one in which some for important information is altered. For example, a change in a destination address might alter the message route in a way that will force re-encryption with a weaker cipher, thus possibly making it easier for an attacker to decipher the message. So that is a bit flipping attack. Next is a confidentiality. So confidentiality attacks is where an unauthorized individual gains access to confidential or private information. So attacks, confidentiality attacks are attacks against the network with a confidentiality. So there are examples of confidentiality attacks. So first is eavesdropping on communications. So that's an first example. Next is wiretapping telecommunication networks. Next is illicit copying of files or program. Next is obtaining copies of messages for later replay. Packet sniffing and key logging to capture data from a computer system or network. In simple terms, confidentiality means something that is secret and that is not supposed to be disclosed to unintended people or entities. So, confidentiality ensures that the sensitive information is accessed only by an unauthorized person and kept away from those not authorized to possess them. So, everyone has informations which they wish to keep secret. So, thus, protecting such informations is an important part of information security. So that is an example of confidentiality attacks. So next is MAC spoofing. MAC spoofing is a technique for changing factory assigned media access control or MAC addresses of a network interface on a network device. So the MAC address that is hard coded on a network interface controller cannot be changed. However, many drivers allow the MAC address to be changed. Additionally, there are tools which can make an operating system believe that the NIC has the MAC address or the user choosing. The process of masking a MAC address is known as a MAC spoofing. Essentially, MAC spoofing entails changing a computer's identity for any reason. So, the attacker can spoof a MAC address of any device in a network, either as a wireless device or the AP. The attacker can change his or her transmission power, be mobile, and be in close proximity to the legitimate device. So, the attacker could use a plug-and-play wireless card or a built-in wireless card. So, the attacker can inject packets into the network and can manipulate any packet field. So, that is an example on MAC spoofing. So, our aim is similar, which is to profile legitimate wireless device using RSS example. So, that is an example of that is a MAC spoofing. So that's all, and thank you.